I was bicycling down a road, and there's a village green to the right of me, and I stopped. And I was 13 at the time, and all was quiet. There was no one around, no cars, nothing. And across this village green, there was a pub, and I heard the Prime Minister saying that a state of war had been declared. And that was a momentous moment for me. I was 13, completely on my own, to hear these words coming out made me very apprehensive. There were 30 of us in a barrack room, and it was early one morning, and we were all in a different state of undress. And there was a roar going continually across, looking out of the window. The sky was black with aeroplanes so close together you wonder how they didn't touch each other. They're pulling gliders, a lot of them, and they just drone over and over and over. Looking back, I think it was probably D-Day, but you didn't think about dates at that time. And the door opened, and we had a Church of Scotland, a church army officer there, a late middle-aged gentleman. And he just opened the door, and he said, "Girls, I don't know what's going on up there, but I think it would be a good idea if we said a prayer for those boys." And what was amazing, which the girls, which we were a mixed lot, hadn't shouted at this man when he opened the door. And when he said this prayer, we prayed for these lads who were up above. And he was only there a moment, he left. And we quiet, and everybody, I think, had these boys in their mind, and they continued going over and over. That was a very vivid memory.
I've thought about it a lot since, that 24 hours after those troops got on those trains, they were dead. That's very sad when you think of it. They were dead. VE Day was one, you know, everyone went daft, you know. War's over, you know, and I thought, whoa, you know, it's all going to be back to normal, but it wasn't like that at all. But for a few hours we did relax, we had a lot of fun, you know. I remember in the town, people going into the town, Warminster, which is the nearest one to Copper where I was stationed, and there were people, there were not enough glasses to fill the beer into the glasses. People were taking £2 jam jars for pints of beer and things like that, you know, and they were lighting fires in the street and all sorts of fun, you know. Here we are. Everybody went silly for a few hours. And then it was back to where we were. Of course, and we realised that the war wasn't over, was it? It still had to soldier on. The atomic bomb hadn't been dropped on Nagasaki or Hiroshima at that time. As I was young, I don't suppose really it didn't sink in. It wasn't until later on in life I thought back, you know, what happened, you know, and I think, well, it wasn't a very nice time, but at the time it didn't seem, it seemed one of those things, you know, that had to be done, I suppose. Yes, well, of course, in the villages, in the village where I was brought up, then they had the American soldiers, they had British soldiers to start with, and then the Americans, they went, and the Americans came on the scene, and the Americans, and of course the locals used to, in fact my father was one of them, used to organise dances on a Friday night, you know, to keep them happy and they used to bring the ladies in from, the Americans used to go off with their truck and go and get some ladies from in the town and bring them out to the local dance. It was thought you'd find. We sort of join in with that, but sort of a bit of a laugh, but there we go. No, I don't say no more what happened, but...
Well, they used to say that even a cigarette being smoked, the glow from an end could be seen from the air, so an aircraft on a clear night could even see somebody having a smoke. There was a gentleman known as Lord Haw-Haw. He stated that anybody showing a German shot-down aircraft with to raise money, they would bomb that town. And sure enough, on Friday, that string of bombs dropped. I found another incendiary bomb, which was a much later one, and that had literally had a warhead on it. By that I mean it was about 6 inches longer, and it was filled with explosive. I did take it home, and I did intend to try and take that one to pieces. Then I thought, I must be mad, because if this goes off, there'll be no more me. So what did I do? I took it over to Daisy Meadow, which is just down Vicarage Road, no more than 100 yards from me, and there was a pond there. And that's where it is today.